The real cost of living in Spain in 2025. I know a lot of you are asking me, Alina, what is the real price of Spanish dream? Today I will tell you everything. Hello there, Alina is here with you directly from Barcelona. So if you are thinking about Spain, of course, you already saw all the sunny beaches, all this cheap wine, and you like, oh, I want to be there. But of course, I always said that in the beginning, you need to build up your budget. You need to understand how much you will spend per month and how much you will spend per year. So you will come directly to Barcelona already fully prepared. So let's start with legal expenses, because always I suggest to start with your documents, okay? Because if you have all your documents and all your paper right, everything will get right, believe me. So if you want to obtain permit here in Spain, first of all, you need to pay government fees. Let's keep it up kind of 100 euro per person, because you need to pay for obtaining the visa, then you need to pay for attaining the residency card, okay? So 100 euro per person. Then for a lot of type of visas, you need to have private health insurance. So the most cheapest one, it's kind of 500 euro per year. Okay, then you need to translate your documents, because some documents you can translate just with Google Translate or with DeepL, but a lot of documents you need to translate with sworn translation. So it's kind of more expensive. So for example, if you are coming here as a digital nomad, you need to pay for all translation of all your work documents or your work contracts or your pay slips. Okay, so it can be additional from 200 to 500 euro per translation. So please keep it in mind. Then, for example, if you want to hire our services of our company, we have the cheapest package, like mini service, only obtaining of the visa. It starts from 990 euro per person. And if you want to obtain full service, like all-in-one package, dream life level, it will cost 3,000 euro per family. Okay, so I think additionally you can add this to your expenses. So if you will do everything by yourself, I think you need to keep it in mind that maybe 500 euro, 1,000 euro, you need to make all the legal steps, okay? And if you will hire the helpers, for example, Dream Life, you need to add kind of 2,000 euro per person. Then another expenses is, of course, long-term rent. And in Spain, it's a little bit tricky, because if you will live in the big cities like Barcelona, Madrid or Valencia, you need to put kind of at least 1,000 euro for small apartment. Okay, in Valencia for 1,000 euro you can actually rent bigger apartment than in Barcelona, because in Barcelona they now everything with property is a little bit crazy. So you need to understand that if you don't have enough money, it's better maybe to rent the room. Okay, so you will kind of save a little bit of money in the beginning, and then when you will maybe have bigger salary, you can invest it in a bigger flat. Okay, but in the beginning, maybe it's better to be a little bit in safe mode. Okay, so if you want to rent one bedroom apartment, because in Spain they're counting only rooms where you will sleep. Okay, so one bedroom apartment, but it's actually 2-room flat. Okay, so Barcelona, Madrid, it's from 1,400 to 2,000 euro at least for the, let's say, small family or for the couple. Okay, Valencia, Malaga, Alicante, let's start from 800 to 1,400. Okay, and smaller city you can find something even from 500 euro. So it all depends where you will live. Sometimes I say, if you want to live in Barcelona, maybe let's check nearest cities of Barcelona, because the price can be kind of double less. Okay, but if you plan to live in a big city, you need to be ready that maybe half of your salary, depends on the size of your salary, of course, can go for long-term rent. So if you find long-term rent, you need to be ready that you need to pay a lot of actually money upfront. So first of all, from 1 to 2 months, you need to pay as deposit, okay? Then you need to pay 1 month's agency commission. Then you need to pay first months of entry to the flat. And then you need to understand that a lot of flats here in Spain, they're renting empty. So you need to pay, for example, for your TV or coffee machine, and you need to buy all furniture. Okay, so I always say that, for example, if you're entering in the flat that costs 1,000 euro, you need to have at least 5,000 euro only for the entry fee. Okay, or it's better to have, of course, 10,000 or more, because you will show your financial statement of your bank, for example, to the owner of the flat, because you want to impress them. You want to show that you have, for example, I don't know, job contract, or you have savings, so they will be sure that you will be a good tenant. Another part of your expenses here in Spain is food and drinks. Okay, so if we are saying about groceries, let's say that you need to spend kind of 100 euro per week for one person, and you will be relaxed, you will be eating good, let's say. Okay, if we are talking about family, let's say that you need to spend at least 1,000 euro per month, but of course better a little bit more maybe. Okay, so for example, if you want to buy wine in the shop, you can buy the bottle of wine from 2 euro, from 4 euro, for 6 euro. Okay, for 10 euro it will be amazing wine. Okay, for example, you want to buy the cup of coffee, it will cost 150, 180 euro. Okay, almost 2 euro, for example, for coffee. Or you want to eat menu del dia, it's kind of lunch menu. Okay, it will cost 12 euro, 14 euro, 20 euro if it will be kind of posh restaurant. Okay, then for example, you want to go for dinner at mid-range restaurant, it will be from 50 to 70 euro per person, depends which wine you will drink, because the alcohol is the most expensive now in restaurants. Or for example, you want to go just to watch cinema, so it's 10 euro ticket. Or you want to enter to the nightclub, it will cost like 15 euro, and inside of this 15 euro it will be one entry drink, like welcome drink. So at all, I think that Spain is kind of really cheap if you are comparing of what you're getting for this money. Okay, because I know that in a lot of countries, like, a lot of stuff of this is costing more, and it's not only about more, but it's kind of you're paying more and you obtaining less. So what I like about Spain, that the quality of the food, the quality of the coffee, the quality of the wine, it's amazing. But first thing first, it's important to be healthy and stay healthy. So of course, I always suggest to buy private insurance. You will have really good public one, but additionally, it's good to have private. So how much it will cost? It's all about the age. Okay, so age from 18 to 35, it will cost you like 60, 80 euro per month. Age from 35 to 50, it will cost you like 80 euro, 100 euro per month. And age 51 plus, it can cost you 121.80 per month, because it all depends of your chronic disease, your weight, your height, and your age. Okay, so you actually need always fill the form, and they in insurance, they will tell you the price of your contract. So I always suggest to ask a different, like, presupuesto, to ask different prices from different companies, and then you decide which you will choose, because it's not only about the price that they're giving you, it's about what is coverage. Okay, because it's important in what hospitals you can go, and it's important what is inside, because mostly all insurance, they give you all include emergency care, hospital stays, some dental and specialist visits. Okay, and top providers in Spain: Sanitas, AXA, DKV, Adeslas, Asisa, and Mapfre. Another expenses is utilities and internet. So, for example, I'm paying for my flat, it's kind of small flat, okay, with only one bedroom. I'm paying monthly for electricity, water, and gas, all together 120, 150 euro per month. But in winter it will be more, because I will spend more electricity to heat up my flat. Okay, so you need to understand that for family it will be from 200 to 400 euro per month, depends of how much electricity you use, of course, and depends of the size of the flat too. Okay, then for example, if you want to pay for internet, kind of 30, 40 euro per month, it will be like high-speed internet. Okay, and mobile plan, for example, for one phone you can pay kind of 10 euro, 15 euro per month, but they have amazing family packages. So for example, they can give you 4 mobile numbers with unlimited internet and 1 home internet, and altogether you will pay kind of 80 euro. Okay, so actually internet is quite cheap in Spain, and it's quite fast, let's say, for this price. And on another hand, utilities here don't, you will not spend a lot Okay, so actually the main expense here in Spain is long-term rent, okay, but everything else is cheap. Getting around, I will tell you my example by Barcelona. I have my transportation unlimited card, and it cost me 22 euro per month. So I can use metro, I can use tram, I can use buses, 22 euro, unlimited. I can move around as much as I want. For example, for kids, it's free. Till 16, it's free. Okay, they just need to buy the card for 4 euro, and then they just rolling around totally for free. Okay, and for example, fuel, gasoline, it costs 1.85. Okay, almost 2 euro per liter. Then, for example, if you want to buy car, used small car will be priced from 5,000 to 10,000 euro. Okay, a lot of people, by the way, they're buying cars in Germany and they are bringing them here. Then car insurance will cost you from 300 euro to 600 euro per year. And if you want to buy insurance for your flat, it will cost like from 100 to 200 euro per year. Okay. And family expenses. First of all, public schools are free, but additionally, they can ask you to pay, of course, if you want, if you can afford it, for example, for the food. So monthly food every day they're giving to a kid in the school, it can cost like 100 euro, 80 euro, 120, depends on the school. Okay, if we are talking about public school. If we are talking about private bilingual or international schools, of course, they can be expensive. For example, 1,000 euro per month, 2,000 euro per month, but it will be like everything included there and they will be in English, for example. A lot of American schools here, a lot of British schools, okay? But a lot of people, they are choosing actually semi-private schools, because in semi-private schools you can find the football classes, tennis classes, they have swimming pool, they have additional classes, and for example in semi-private schools they have Spanish and English. In private school you can actually, your kid can study only in English, and for example in public school it will be Spanish plus local language. For example, here in Catalonia they are studying Spanish, Catalan, English, and one additional language. Okay, so actually they are multilingual. Okay, and what else about kids? For example, depends where you wanna put your kid after school. But for example, if you wanna put them in the football academies, some academies they charge 90 euro per quarter, per 3 months, and some they charge, for example, 80 euro per month. For example, if you wanna put your kids to the musical classes, it can cost like 70 euro per month, and some activities cost like 30 euro per month, some activities cost like 100 euro per month, depends on activity. It depends, of course, on the level of teacher. And of course, let's talk about not so fun part, taxes. It's really important always in advance to understand how much you will pay in taxes. Okay, so I always suggest you start actually your relocation plan with understanding what visa is best for you and what taxes you will pay approximately when you move, because I need to focus your attention that taxes there depends on where you live, what size is your family, how much you get per month, and what expenses you're having. Okay, because depends if you have company or you're self-employed, you can actually take out your expenses from income and then pay taxes only on this taxable part. Okay, so it's really important to actually hire expert for 1 hour, have one consultation, talk about this, and you will understand ahead how much you will pay actually for this subscription to Spain. You know, I always say that taxes is subscription to the country. So Spanish subscription to the country, taxes form will cost you approximately like 20-25%. Okay, just an average, because of course here taxes is from 19% to 47%, but to pay 47% you need to have salary at least 500,000 per year. Okay, so if you have less, it means that you will pay less taxes. Okay, because they have here like stair logic. Okay, so from each level you pay different amount of taxes, but in average, as I see a lot of people who are moving with us, our clients, they pay like 20-25%. Okay, depends on income. And then we have VAT here, okay? So IVA or VAT here is 21%, but depends on what, okay? Like services is 21%, for example, food is 7%, for example, education is 10%, okay? So depends on what. For example, if you want to buy flat, 10%. tax, okay? Because I know that Sanchez were talking about 100%, but it was just conversation, okay? It's not true, it's not happening. Yay, happily. So only 10% if you're buying the flat. Then, what about more about taxes? Property tax. For example, if you have property, you are owner, you need to pay EB. It's from 500 to 1,000 euro per year, okay, if this flat is yours. Then, for example, we have Beckham law. It's a flat rate. For example, if you are coming as American doctor to work here in clinic and you will obtain, for example, 200,000 euro per month per year, or maybe per month salary, you can pay flat rate 24% taxes per month. Okay, so taxes, they're actually really kind of flexible, depends on your income and depends on which part of Spain you are living, because in Madrid kind of taxes a little bit lower. For example, in Catalonia they are higher, so it's really important to understand how much exactly you will pay. So let's sum up all these expenses. I think if you are coming by yourself in Spain, for example, you plan to live in big city, Madrid or Barcelona, you will spend at least 1,500 per month only if you are renting room. Okay, so for example, you are renting the room for 500, 700, and then you are spending everything else for the food, for the transportation, for the internet. Okay, then for example, you want to live kind of, let's say, in a good apartment, not in the most expensive one, but in a good apartment. I think that you need to have at least 3,000 euro per month to feel yourself good, okay, at least. Then if you are coming with the family, of course, I think you need to have at least 3,000 euro if you will live kind of in cheap zone of Spain, for example, not in the biggest city, okay? And of course, if you plan to live, for example, in Barcelona, it's most expensive city of Spain, I think that you need to have at least 5,000 euro, because comfortable flat today, they are starting from 2,000 euro per month. Then you will pay for education for your kid, for example, 500 more. Then all the, for example, internet and insurance is 500 more. And 2,000 euro for food, for transportation, yeah. So it's kind of to be comfortable, to be okay, at least 5,000 euro if you are family of 4. And I want to add some expenses that I did lately just for you to know how much cost what. So for example, haircut, okay? It can be like 20 euro, but it can be 80 euro. For example, my hair, they always charge a lot, okay? For example, manicure. In some salon, it can be 15 euro, 20 euro if you are going to Chinese girls. But if you are going kind of to some posh salon, it can be like 50 euro, okay, for manicure. If you, for example, going to the cinema, ticket to the cinema will cost 10 euro. What else? For example, I bought the book on Amazon a couple of days ago, and this book costs 15 euro. Okay, I'm going to the gym, by the way. I'm going to the gym, yes, by the way. I'm going to the gym, and the price of the gym unlimited, and my gym has amazing spa zone, and I can go in any time to any group and individual training, and it will be 65 euro per month. For my insurance, by the way, I'm paying 60 euro per month, and dental insurance I pay 12 euro per month. Okay, so it's just kind of some expenses from myself. And for example, my friend, she attend now the courses of Spanish language, and she will pay 120 euro per month. I know, and she will go 3 times per week, 2 hours per day. Okay, so that's actually like the middle prices of our expenses today. But what I like about Spain, that it's not only about expenses. Here, what I like, that beach is free and it's not private, like you need to pay and enter, that we have a lot of parks, that we have a lot of activities, free activities for the kids. So what I like, that actually in Spain, main stuff, they are free. You can walk, you don't need to car everywhere. So it's kind of, you can have comfortable life no matter how much money you have. So it's not like only you rich, so you have access. No, you can be with, I don't know, €2 in your pocket, you can buy some coffee with croissant, you can walk to the beach, you can return by leg to your home, and that's it. You can spend an amazing day for this amount of money. So it's not only like you need to have this amount to be a person, you know what I mean? So actually I think that Spain is really affordable, really doable, and really worth it, okay? So please write here in my comment section what you think about these prices, how much you pay in your country and how much you pay if you are living today in Spain, in what city, because it's really interesting, you know, to compare different expenses of different people. So please share with us. Thank you guys for watching this video, and I just want to remind you that Alina Kaba, the same nickname I have in Instagram and in TikTok. So if you want more of Alina, you can watch me on all these platforms. So please subscribe to all my social medias because I put there a lot of useful information. Thank you guys for watching. Wish you amazing week and see you in the next video. Besitos, abracitos. Ciao, ciao.